Right, so we have the closing cleaner, InsurTech in MENA, an emerging class of new digital insurers. Lars Gehrmann, the Group Chief Digital Officer of the Qatar Insurance Company. Lars, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. So change of topic, change of way how we present it. This is about business strategy, normal IT tools, okay? So be with me if I'm too fast in some areas. So that's me. Okay, so finally, that's me. I've built my first digital insurance broker 22 years ago when internet was coming up. And since then, we have seen a lot of dooms and many things that we actually have to do, but insurance is still quite an offline business. In 2005, I've built the first digital bank in Spain. So I have a bit of experience in doing this kind of digital business. And this is what led me my whole career, trying to find the boundaries of digital business. And then together with QIC here, I'm trying to build new digital business models for the region and with the global impact. We talked about the customers, we talked about digital customers today, and insurance is a really complicated topic. Why? Because everybody has some sort of touch points with our customers. But insurance is not bought frequently. We don't have enough touch points to sell insurance every day. In fact, usually we sell it once a year, and maybe we do a renewal after that. But all those companies or institutions that we have here, banks, fintechs, big tech, non-finance, they all have touch points. And there are companies out there, especially in big tech and the non-finance, that have touch points that actually enable them to gather a lot of data. And data can help us to build better propositions. So this is the challenge that we have in insurance. It's an old-fashioned paper-based product in the end, and we're trying to build something in business model that are working out. And I mentioned here that I worked 22 years ago about the digital broker, insurance broker. It's not because I'm proud of it. It's because back then technology was really bad. The internet was that slow that actually was no way it could have been working. But we tried it out. In today's world, we have the internet speed and we have mobile apps to build things in a different way. And we even, in today's time, we don't reach everybody because insurance products are trust products. So you can sell small products, but if it's a life insurance or something like this will never, at least right now in the next 3 to 5 years, be able to be sold in digital way. Coming and seeing the whole presentations of today's world in banking and finance, we actually wanted to compare what is happening in insurance, what is happening in banking. And we see quite similar patterns. Obviously, innovation is driven not only by us, the incumbents, but it's driven somehow by the younger, dynamic digital companies, InsurTech, FinTech. And we learn as incumbents from them, we integrate them, we buy them, yeah, but the innovation is coming from there. So this is a topic that's quite similar to between the two sectors. The second is, how do we do the kind of business in today's world? How do we reach our customers? And I believe here, the open banking is something that is amazing for a customer perspective. I have one app, and this app in Europe, I have all my bank data in, and I can transact with all my different banks. This is a feature that is really unbelievable customer friendly. I love it, I have to say. Yeah, so there are quite a number of things that in fintech are working. In insurance, they are not. Yes, we have the keyword open insurance, but does it work? No, it does not work. Why? Because it's a different level. It's a different level of regulation. It's a different kind of product. We don't transact every week. We transact maybe once or twice a year. So there's certain challenges that actually are not applicable for our market. The third, and I was wondering a bit that we have heard about it in the beginning of the day, but AI for me really is a game changer. A game changer, the same as when the internet came up and when the mobile apps 10 years ago came up. AI is a game changer in the whole value creation, the digital value creation that we are there. If you see that one of those digital insurance players from the States, Lemonade, they claim themselves that they pay 30% of their claims in less than 3 seconds. It's obviously a low frequency and low impact product. It's home insurance, right? But can we pay within 3 seconds? Yeah, we cannot as QSC. And I don't know any insurance company here in the region that is able to do this in the same way. You would be able if you want to work on this. So AI is changing the way how we execute, the way how everything is done in our business. The fourth, I think we had a really interesting panel right now on what it is there in a cashless society. Deep tech is eventually changing everything that we know about how the value is created in digital business, in the banking, but also in us, and for us in insurance. Because why do we need an insurance right now if there's a smart contract? If there's a promise that there will be automatic payment? If there's a parametric insurance where you do a travel, you go to travel, you lose your luggage, and when you arrive in Doha, there will be a payout directly on your account. This is what parametric insurance does. And we have the technology for it. It can be done. It's just missing to get the implementation right. And finally, my favorite topic, this of my team, new digital business models. The way how we operate together. We're not building these propositions on our own anymore. We build this together in ecosystem with partners, which enable us to do new digital business models. So if you move on and look into the last 5 years, what happened in the insurtech world, you see this amazing hockey stick, right? Investments in insurance companies or insurtechs, 5 times the value in terms of VC, 150% higher the number of investments in companies. It's obviously driven by a lot by the States and a bit of Europe and Asia, but if you look into what German VFox, they just received last year $650 million US. You can build quite a bunch of things for $650 million. If you look into bought by many, so some of you have a bit of feeling in insurance. They started out as peer-to-peer insurance company for diabetes clients globally. They've built a playbook, a digital playbook, how to reach them. And now they're using the same digital playbook to sell pet insurance. A really small, easy product. And they got $350 million to build a global player out of this. And we as QC are somehow playing with it. So there's a lot of things happening. At the same time, if I move on, you see this, I mentioned Lemonade, yeah, a company that has really been thriving by VC valuations, went live IPO last year, doubled the value, the stock value, and oh, what's happening? They're coming down. They're coming down drastically, and Lemonade is just one of the stronger ones, right? There's Root, there are a couple of other insurtechs that are IPO'd. Actually, they don't have even this performance. And at the same time, we see incumbents, so the big incumbents, reaching all-time highs. Why is that? Because obviously we are in the S-curve, innovation S-curve, and things are changing. It's not about the hype anymore, it's about real business value. And if you look into what Lemonade, where Lemonade states with this valuation, they almost have the same valuation in terms of number of clients and number of contracts compared to their stock exchange value with all the big ones like Zurich and Access. Yeah, they're getting there. Meaning we will see a phase where the insurtech will be consolidated, but the stronger ones will survive. And we will come to something that we're trying to do as QSC as well, a digital incumbent. So this explains a bit the innovation S-curve where insurance is. And just to summarize, an innovation S-curve means it's like an S, but on the bottom line, right? There's a hype. So blockchain has been hyped 5 years ago. Everything went up. And then everybody realized, oh, there's a problem. There's certain risk behind this. And you're falling down. This is the second button that we have. And then you have a market consolidation and you're moving up again. This is what you typically could call about an S-curve. So if I look into what happened there, and I said 22 years ago, I've been working on the customer-first digital front ends. This was in the past, right? The next phase, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was all about end-to-end digital insurance. And the ones of Lemonade and VFox, they started with products that are easy, that are really fast to sell. You cannot sell complex things over the internet. So easy and small things. This was end-to-end journey. Where we are right now are fully fledged digital insurance ecosystems. Ecosystems are environments where several partners are glued together by an ingredient and they deliver together a service promise to our clients. And you see this, the S-curve in there. So we have seen the aggregators, we have some local ones, we see the aggregators. We have seen the big funding rounds to get all those companies into the IPOs, and some made it and some are still pending. And if you just see the crazy thing how, for example, Next Insurance in the States, last year, every 3 months, they received $250 million to just grow. And this is still a small business insurance, right? So there have been a lot of speculation in this, which we will see now to be corrected. Yeah, we see emergency sales. We see a Metromile being bought for not a penny, still 500 million, but a lower value to Lemonade. We have seen the assets of Trove. And Trove was worldwide's first on-demand gadget insurance to be taken over by travelers. So we see this kind of consolidation, meaning it makes the incumbents stronger and it makes maybe one or two of those insurtechs strong enough to build the next thing. And yeah, it's yesterday, it's 10 years ago, yesterday and today. But what we really want to say with this slide, before it has been a linear way of selling, similar to what banks have been doing. Yeah, there was the bank and there was somehow the customer and maybe there was a person in the middle of it. In the last years, using technology, there was more interaction. And we as an insurance companies, we have been looking into this kind of interaction. We want to be part of the customer lifetime. We want to be part of their touch points to actually be able to sell. It is moving now in a complex area where we actually have customer journeys that are quite complex and topics that we as an insurance company are not be able to deliver, but we have partners that deliver it. So really platforms and ecosystems is what taking over. How do we as QRC evaluate what is a business model? And it's actually, you have to say, something I've missed in the morning. We talked about a lot of tools and capabilities are built, but how do you classify what you really need at that point of time? I believe this slide might be an answer, and we're using it on our side. So let me explain what we're trying to do here. We start on the bottom part, right? We start on a traditional retail business, which is, I believe, quite similar between banks and insurance. But then we are coming into the advantage, the more complex areas. We have the core systems. If I talk about core systems, it's not the banking or the insurance core system per se, not the Temenos, right? And not the Guidewire. It's about a core system that is an architecture that enable us to plug in new software using APIs, is the cloud, meaning SaaS models. Yeah? The second thing, and this is what you see, is digital propositions. This is the mobile app, this is the website. But mobile apps and websites are easily built, are fast built, but everybody has them. So where's the advantage there? Where you actually want to develop as a business strategy, you want to develop ourselves into either niche business models. In niche business models are business models where you have a certain target segment, or you have some other advantage that you can work on, because then you're bigger and faster than other companies. And we want to develop ourselves, and this is what is happening in the last years, into products and in information, where you add data, IoT, and service components to the products, yeah, which eventually lead to a platform and ecosystem play. And I've put some examples there, and you see the arrows, right? Where Lemonade started, where they are right now, they're bought by many started, and right, the other players as well. We want to move from the bottom part, which is the old-fashioned classic offline business, to the upper part, where it's more complex, where we are getting advantage. Why do we want to do this? Because of this. On the bottom part, you have maybe, if you build this, 6 to 12 months competitive advantage against your competitors. It is easy in today's world. We have seen the tools this morning. It's easy to be built, all those things in a fast way. So this is not an advantage that you have. If you're adding data, and capabilities and services, then it's getting more complex. But the real thing that you want to do, you want to compete on ecosystem and platform level, because this is almost impossible to deal with. So this slide we're actually using on our side to make decisions who we want to partner and invest in. Moving on, and this is what we promised, view on the MENA. So I see a couple of, here in UAE as well, incumbents doing digital propositions. We have them as well. But this is, as we've seen in the last slide, the very beginning, the very first step. Then we have the aggregators. Aggregators are helping us as the consumers to get an overview. Aggregators on the market are not really good because they're summarizing complex product into one price topic. Not good for the consumers in the end. And we see a couple of Intertech startups. I say a couple, they're much more in the region, but I mentioned them because they are interesting players that actually have the possibility to make something out of this. Interestingly, we are living and we're working in really small markets, and don't take it wrong, but 3 million people is a small market. And within this small market, we not only have one homogeneous group of customers, we have 3, 4, 5 different customer groups. So this makes it unbelievably complicated for a startup to scale, because yes, they can attack one niche, but coming to the next niche is really complicated. Which means if I see what is happening here in MENA and compare to the States or to Europe, we don't have the scale that an InsurTech actually can grow into something big. That's why we come in as QRC, and we will not be the only one. There will be other important players that are doing the same thing, where we have the reach and the scale across the region to do things. How do we do this? And this is on our last slide. I'm obviously using the capabilities, we are using the capabilities of QSC, and this is partly not known. We are not just a regional company. We do international business. In fact, we do 80% of our business internationally through Qatari and Antares, where I write global insurance business. So if I develop with the team a new digital proposition, I can take this proposition to other markets. I can take this to Asia, I can take this to Europe, I can take it to Africa, and have the risk provider with me, which enables me to do a scaling which is unknown to an insurtech. At the same time, I'm building my other thing that I have on my investment team, Epicure, award-winning team with a lot of interesting investments. How do I do the building up? So we have three vehicles. We have a venture builder that focus on building new companies based on propositions on their own. We have a seed fund, a CVC fund that invests in adjacent business models to this venture builder. And we have a strong partnering network where we actually need to build. If you want to build ecosystem and platforms, need to partner. So this is what we are doing. That's in a nutshell is what I wanted to explain to you. It's an interesting journey what is happening here in insurance. Now we see there are certain challenges and we want to play a key role. And I'm happy to invite you to have a discussion with us on this. This is not done by us only. I will compete with everybody on a local proposition level. But if we can do something international, if we can do something in the ecosystem, let's talk, let's see what we can do together. Thank you very much.